Hello, hi everyone. Welcome to Cybrosys. In today's video, we're going to discuss about the API documentation URL in Odoo 19. So first, let's move on to the apps. And from here, you can search for the app API. Now here you can find the API documentation. So you can easily access the API documentation through the URL. Now let's move on to the module info. So as you just move on to the module info, this shows that this is a dynamic API documentation, and this is for developers by using the URL document URL, and this is generated using the database to list the models and their fields and their methods, and it also acts as a playground to run methods over the HTTP with various examples using the programming language like JSON, Python, and all. So let's see how can we make use of this. Now let me duplicate the instance, and afterwards here you can find the URL. So I'll be removing the URL from here, from Odoo till last, and I'll be setting it as just doc. Now, upon clicking on enter, you can see that we'll be diving to the Odoo runtime document. So here we can search for the models, we can find the methods, the fields, the models, and everything. So currently we are in the dark mode. Now, if you want to switch between the mode, you can easily switch that, and you can just set it as light mode. Here comes the light mode, and upon clicking on the icon, you can see we have switched to the dark mode. Now here you can find the models. Now I would like to consider the model account dot account. Let me consider that. As I just consider the model account dot account, it shows the name of the model, which is given over here. And here you can find the fields with the name, the type, the description, the required options, help, module, and everything will be given over here. Now you can also find the methods that are used with the root, description, and signature, and all other parameters. Now here you can see that the request with the JSON and all. So here comes the code, and you can also see everything over here. Now if you want to select or deselect any of the thing, you can just do it from here. And if you want to just unselect or deselect the core, you can just do that. So you can find all the changes that we are making over here. So if I just deselect this, here comes only the fields, that is the display, name, and ID, which are the magical fields. So I just need to get the core fields, methods, and all other things over here. So I'll be enabling the core module, which is account over here. Okay. Now, as you just drag down here, you can find that the request is used, is written with the code JSON. But when you just try to run this here, you can see that we just need to provide the API key. So we have to insert the API key. Now let's see how can we insert the API key. And before moving on to the generation of the API key, I'll be showing that you can also just get the code of JavaScript as well as the Python and C URL, that is curl. Okay. And let's move on to JSON itself. Now I'll show you how to generate the API key. To generate the API key, you can move on to the database, and here comes the profile, and choose the profile over here. As you just go with the profile, here we have a tab called account security. So under the account security, here you can see that we have the API key. Okay, so here you can see I have already generated an API key with the creation date, expiry date, everything is given over here. So if you want to delete this API key, you can easily delete that. What you just need to do is that you just need to confirm your identity by entering your password. So I'll be setting my password over here, and let's click on confirm in order to delete that. So let's save it, and we'll be deleting. Now I just need to generate a new API key. So these API keys are used to connect the Odoo from the external tools without the need for a password or two-factor authentications. Now let me click on new API, where you can see that we have to provide the name of we just need to enter a description for the purpose for the key. So when you are creating a new API key, first you have to provide the password. Afterwards, you will be getting this wizard. But right now, I'm creating the API key second time. So it will be directly moving on to the creation of the API key. So I'll be providing the name over here as Odoo doc. Once it's been given, you can click on generate key and this will be generating the key. So here you can see that write down your key and instead of using the password for RPC access, your login is still necessary for interactive usage. So you can just copy this. So once it's been copied, make sure you have copied it. Okay. And this key cannot be retrieved later and provides full access to your account, user account, and it is important to keep it securely. So once it's done, you can click on done and you can just move on to the Odoo runtime doc. Now let me try to run the JSON. So I'll be getting a wizard that is to give the API key. And to try the API, we just need to provide the key over here and let me save it. So once it's been given, now let me try to run the file and here you can see that we'll be getting the response. Now, if you want to just deal with any testing of the data and all, you can just do that. So let me run change the name over here. Okay, let me set it as name. And afterwards, you can just move on to any of the module over here. Let's say I'm going to consider the sales over here. And here we have the reference number. So I'll be giving the reference number over here, SO000, or you can just copy everything. So once it's been given over here, again, you can just move on and let me change the domain. Okay. Now let me set that and let me run. So here you can see that we are not getting any responses right now over here. Okay. So here we just need to change back and if you just remove every values from here, you can see when you just try to run this, you will be getting the error. Okay. So here you can see that you will be getting the error 500 while executing the request, which is an internal server error. So if you want to just make use of any particular fields, accounts, fields, methods, or anything, you can just use the Odoo runtime document. And this would allow you to make a test with the functionalities of the part you are dealing with or with model that you are dealing with. Now here you can see that we can find anything with the models, methods and fields. So right now I have enabled models, methods and fields over here and I just need to only get the fields over here. So let me search for the field restored partner. Okay. And here you can see the fields associated with restored partner will be shown over here. Okay. And if you want to just get the models related to restored partner, when you enable the models over here, you will be getting the models also. Now, if you want to just get any methods with this, you will be getting the methods also. Okay. Now, if you want to just get any name related methods only, let's see, models only, let's see whether we'll be getting, you can see we have the 11 results. Upon enabling the methods, you can see that we have more results and upon enabling the fields also, the result is further increased over here. So this is how we just make use of API documentation URL in Odoo 19, which is one of the new feature in Odoo 19. So that's all for today. If you find this video informative, please do like, share and subscribe our channel. If you want Odoo customization, Odoo implementation and Odoo tutorial videos, feel free to contact Cybrosys. As always, stay awesome and thank you for watching the video.